Back in the days, most of the time, you would wait for someone to make the first move. It might be on the first date, it might be the third date, whatever. It could be the man, it could be the woman. But now, all my friends have noticed that the man has stopped making the first move. All my girlfriends are like, they're waiting. It's the third date, fourth date, a week later. He hasn't gone in for the kiss. He doesn't do any touching or anything. And I've asked my dude friends that are single, and they are like, you don't know where a woman's gonna go with that story anymore. I ain't touching nobody. And it sucks because the Me Too movement is so strong and so powerful for the people that need it, but it shouldn't ruin the maturity that we should have within intimacy and relationships.
Where are the real men at? I'm sick of it. They don't make men like they used to.
So where are the men? Where do y'all hang out? If you don't go to a coffee shop?
Where have all the good men gone? I can't find. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, where are all the good men?
Where are the good men? Where can I find them?
Where are all the fucking men?
Really down to one simple question. Where are these men at?
Where are all the good men gone?
There is a serious shortage of attractive, eligible, mentally stable, emotionally available men.
There's no good masculine men out there.
I know so many great single women. So many great single women. I don't know where all the dudes are. I'm like, guys, come on.
Mom! Put me back! I wake up every morning, I work, I have bills, I'm too big for the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. This sucks!
Am I too old to be here?
What?
Am I too old to be here?
No, of course not.
Does it look weird that I'm here?
No, not at all.
Am I hotter than these little bitches?
Yes, you look amazing.
How old are you?
I just turned 29.
Recently?
Last year.
So you're 29?
Last year.
And how old are you right now?
1 more year older.
So 30?
Yeah.
What you feel like when your son smiles at you.
Only in movies do you get the perfectly scripted power couple rom-com where everything lines up on schedule. In real life, dating outcomes aren't guaranteed, especially if someone's strategy is built on vibes, validation, and it'll work out later, without actually building relationship skills along the way. And here's what always stands out in these clips: the gap between what someone expects and what they're willing to contribute. Wanting commitment is normal. Wanting stability is normal. But if the pitch is mostly, I deserve this, with very little, here's how I show up for someone, people are going to feel that imbalance immediately. Now, the title we're looking at today is Gen Z Paralyzed with Fear of Turning 30, Becoming Unattractive Hags. Life might as well end at 22. New York Post. And whatever you think of the Post's tone, the underlying point is worth talking about. Social media and beauty culture can warp how people see aging, dating, and self-worth, until turning 30 starts sounding like a deadline instead of just another year. Anyway, let's get into it. Age before beauty? Absolutely not. 30, flirty, and thriving is apparently no longer the holy grail for teens and 20-somethings online. Those born between 1997 and 2013 are expressing grim concerns about hitting the big 3-0, a milestone that some of these youngsters fear will immediately zap them of their sexiness, stamina, and overall value. That's because they're not wrong. They're the internet and social media generation, so they constantly see clips of older women online venting and crying about struggling to find a solid partner or worrying they'll end up alone.
There are consequences to saying the N-word.
Why? How do you know? How do you know?
I was just thinking, I'm probably going to be alone for the rest of my life. How many of you are alone and like are okay with it? Like are okay with it? Like
inside this stupid body, I am still young. I still feel. I still want. I still dream.
Or regretting divorce because no one wants to commit to a post-wall, so they know they're on borrowed time.
I need my algorithm to give me more people who are 30 and like just starting over. Or give me more people who like
started to make it at 30. Because I'm feeling those things of like, bitch, there's no point even trying. Because you turned 30 recently. There's no point in even trying. And I know that is unproductive. Like, I'm aware that thought is also what's going to keep me where I'm at. Because that thought is also why I'm not where I want to be. And I'm not even that fucking far off. Besides what you're seeing here, and that's not my fault, the dryer was fucked up. The dryer, it took an hour and a half to get me clothes that had to be draped all over my apartment. And guess what? I like the apartment. That's sick, right? My life, not like that astronomically far off and from what I want it to be, but I also might just be saying that to make myself feel better. You know what I mean? But all around happy, other than everything that is not there. But you know what I mean? So if you're feeling like, hey, I feel like I'm too old to be working on this, or I thought that, but then I got somewhere, let me know, because I feel...
Anyway, back to the article. Over the past few days, I've seen multiple Gen Z posts, mostly from women, across platforms like Reddit and Instagram, expressing extreme distress about aging and saying they don't think they'll cope once they hit their 30s or 40s because they fear losing their looks. One person on a PSA-style thread described the feeling like turning into a pumpkin when the clock hits midnight, basically admitting they believe their appearance is their main source of value. And according to that commenter, this is the outcome of a culture that relentlessly rewards looks and constant validation. The same comment argues that some women try to counterbalance that by leaning hard on education or career accomplishments to gain respect, which can push them into a constant competition mindset, sometimes creating friction in dating. The writer also speculates that influencer style and adult content markets could become increasingly crowded, because every year a new wave of younger creators enters, making it harder for older creators to maintain the same level of attention or income over time. And when people talk about age preferences in celebrity dating, Leonardo DiCaprio gets brought up constantly, since he's repeatedly dated much younger partners, something the internet uses as a shorthand for the wider age dynamic debate.
Can I ask what you guys think about a 48-year-old dating a 19-year-old? Because I'm kind of torn. Usually I have the mindset of, oh, if you're an adult, like, you can choose to live your life how you see fit as long as you're not harming anybody else. And these girls that date Leo, like, they know what's going on. They know that the time is limited, or at least I hope they do. But at the same time, their age difference is the same between me and my dad. I also believe that there's, like, levels to being an adult. So I'm 23. That's, like, 5 years old in the adult world. If you're 19, you are 1. If you choose to believe my logic on this, that would make Leo 30. This is him at 29 or 11 in the adult world, the same year that his new girlfriend was born. This is what he would look like if they were somehow the same age right now. This is like what's eating Gilbert Grapes, Leo. Look at his baby face. And it's not about looks. I'm trying to say that these are like very different kinds of adults. Why won't age-appropriate women date him?
What's ironic is the mixed messaging. Some people will say an 18-year-old is too young to date a much older man, but then treat it as automatically empowering when that same 18-year-old monetizes attention online. Either we care about protecting young adults from unhealthy dynamics, or we don't. Pick a lane. And a lot of the outrage you see online often isn't purely about morality. It's about status and access. When wealthy, famous men date much younger women, it becomes a lightning rod because it highlights an uncomfortable truth. Money and fame can dramatically expand options for some men in ways that don't translate as directly for women. Meanwhile, many women are told that career success and income should automatically increase their dating leverage the same way it often does for men. But that's not how attraction works for most people. Financial success can be a plus, but it doesn't purchase genuine romantic interest, and it definitely doesn't guarantee commitment.
So I turned 30 in like 6 weeks, and I've been single my whole life, and I don't really know of any other people who are in the same position. I've got people who are like, oh my God, I've been single for so long, and like, you know, it's been like 3 years since my partner broke up with me, and I'm there like, I never had a partner. And I don't really know, like none of my friends, no one in my circle, I haven't really met anybody who actually is in the same position. I know there's people out there, so hopefully this reaches the right people. I mean, technically I did have a boyfriend when I was like 11, but we never broke up, and then we went on summer holiday, so I guess technically you could say that we were actually still together. So I've either never been in a relationship or I've only ever been in one. Jokes. But yeah, I don't know, I think it's a really weird thing because society expects you by certain ages to hit certain milestones, including partner house, marriage, kids. And I'm like, I have none of those things. And when you're single, and you've always been single, you have to plan your life as a single person. Like when I think about the future, I can't plan my life with a partner in mind because I don't have that right now. And yeah, that's how I feel at least. I plan my life as a single person. What are the things I want to do? I want to travel, I want to run my business. And if someone comes along and I fall madly in love and we have the best life together ever, amazing. But I think when you've never had a partner, you can't imagine what it's like to actually be in a relationship, to actually like have your person. So yeah, don't really know what I'm trying to say, but are there anybody else who has this? Is there anybody else in the same position? Let me know.
Back to the article. The writer claims some people are so anxious about aging that they don't even bother with healthy habits, saving money, or building a career because they feel like it won't matter anyway. That's a bleak mindset, and it says a lot about how online culture can warp priorities. But let's be honest, a lot of the health and self-care being pushed right now isn't always about health. It's often about optics, looking younger, looking polished, looking high value. Because the internet rewards appearance and perceived desirability more than long-term well-being. And makeup is a perfect example. There's nothing wrong with it, but in practice, it's frequently used as a shortcut. Smooth over tired skin, hide stress, cover breakouts, and present a version of yourself that looks more put together than your lifestyle actually is. It's not evil, it's just a symptom of a culture that prioritizes image management over real, boring discipline.
My biggest life regrets are not doing these things in my 20s and waiting till my 30s, and the damage is already done once you're in your 30s. So, yeah, you tell him, sister. So, I'm a mom. Start these things now, like please, for me, if for no one else. The first one is sleeping on your back. The weight of your human head actually compresses your bones, your muscle, your collagen, and whatever side that you sleep on. If you sleep on a side, and you probably do sleep on one side, that side is gonna get droopy and sad. And that's this side of my face. Like everything is lower. Number 2 is putting sunscreen on your chest. My chest has so much more sun damage than my face, and I would let it just get fried out in the sun. So there's like pigmentation, broken capillaries, like redness, and just looks old. Lastly, chemical exfoliant masks once to twice a week. I had so much acne, I had so much acne scarring, I just have pigmentation that's still left over from all of that, and I feel like it would have been so much better if I did chemical exfoliants, like duh.
From what we saw in the video, it's pretty clear you can't out skincare time forever. You can take care of yourself, dress well, and stay polished, and that's fine. But if the whole goal is to look like you're 10 years younger, people can usually tell when it's more about chasing an image than building real health. That's why the best time to develop healthy habits is early, not as a last-minute panic move. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, stress management, those are long games. You can't undo a decade of neglect with a few months of getting serious. You'll still benefit from starting anytime, but results come from consistency, not quick fixes. What worries me more is the nihilism. If someone decides in their early 20s that life is basically over by 30, that mindset will sabotage everything: health, finances, relationships, and self-respect. Aging isn't a death sentence, it's just reality. And reality is easier when you build a foundation instead of living off validation and short-term dopamine. For anyone genuinely anxious about turning 30, focus on what actually improves life outcomes: emotional maturity, good routines, real skills, and learning how to be a stable, supportive partner. Relationships aren't built on internet standards or performative confidence. They're built on character, reciprocity, and shared values. And yes, education and career skills still matter, if for nothing else because independence and stability give you options. The goal isn't to win against the other gender. The goal is to build a life that's solid with or without a relationship. And then choose a partner who adds to it, not drains it.
My 30-something-year-old women who don't have kids yet, but you want kids, but you feel like you're running out of time to have them. Where are you? Because same. And I just feel, I'm 32. And I just feel like I'm in this place in my life right now where I'm a little selfish. I just moved out and bought my house in December with my boyfriend, and I just feel like I want kids eventually. Like, I definitely want children, but I don't want them right now. But then I'm like, am I getting too old? Like, do I need to get a move on? I'm not married yet. I would like to be married before I have my kids. Like, I just feel like there's so much to do, and like, I'm running out of time. So, and every time I see my aunt, she asks me when I'm freezing my eggs. So that doesn't help. But like, I don't know. I'm just not ready. I'm still like, I feel like I still have never even had like my dream body yet. I don't want to get pregnant yet. I'm still trying to get fit and like in shape. And like, my friend brought her baby over last week, and it was me and my sister and our friend. And I was like, holy shit, like, you have a baby and then you just have to bring the baby everywhere. Like, I know that sounds probably stupid to some people, but I don't know. Like, I love being able to just, like, leave the house in the morning and go to Pilates or go meet up with my friends, or, you know, it's like a selfish era, I guess. And I know once I have kids, I will love them and want to spend time with them, and it won't feel like right now I always complain about the dogs. I'm like, I fucking hate feeding the dogs. You know, the dogs are a pain in the ass, but, you know, I know children are different. But, like, I don't know, can anyone relate? Like, 32, definitely want kids someday, just don't want them right now, but, like, when's it too late? I don't know.
Continuing with the article, the insider says, I don't think this is necessarily our fault, but I do recognize in myself a fear of aging. And honestly, that part I get. What's interesting is the next point. Instead of building a real psychological or social response to that fear, a lot of people default to buying things, products, procedures, constant upgrades, as if you can shop your way out of a human reality. I wouldn't even call it pure consumerism. It's more like coping, and it's become the default coping mechanism. Now, can you fix the anxiety? Not with a miracle product. The more grounded answer is building meaning. Relationships, community, purpose, and, if that's what you want, family. A stable life tends to quiet that panic more than chasing endless validation. But here's the uncomfortable part. Modern dating culture has made long-term commitment feel riskier and less appealing for a lot of people. Many men who want peace and stability are cautious about marriage, and many women are cautious about investing without certainty. So you end up with both sides hesitating, and then everyone acts surprised that fewer families are being formed. And if someone's plan is, I'll become traditional later and it'll all work out, that's not really a plan. People who are genuinely family-oriented usually look for partners who already share that mindset and live it consistently, not someone trying to pivot at the last second because they're scared. So yeah, if you want a traditional outcome, you generally need traditional habits and values, not just traditional slogans.
I turned 30 this year, and I'm sure lots of women will resonate that turning 30 comes with so much judgment. I feel like people were like, oh, why isn't she engaged yet? Like, why did she leave her past relationship? Does she still live there? Is she still working there? How come, like, doesn't she want kids? Like, what is she doing? But honestly, like, I've never been more free and happy in my entire life. Like, the other day I was at the beach with a couple of my close friends, and we were talking about how we all turned 30 this year, and like our 20s were just like, we like don't even know what happened. Like, all these things happen to you in your 20s, and they just happen to you. Sometimes, like, you can't control. Actually, many times in life you can't control what happens. But like, now that we've gotten to a stage in our lives where we have like more stable jobs, stable income, stable friendships, and we're like, holy shit, like, what the fuck was going on in our 20s? And now, like, we feel like we're finally conscious and are doing things with intention and know what's happening and kind of have a little bit more control in our lives. And I think the biggest difference between me in my 20s and me now is that I just do things for myself. Like, I think especially in my like early to mid 20s, I just genuinely didn't know what I wanted. So I had to go through a bunch of things to realize, oh, this is the kind of life I want. This is the kind of friends I want. This is the kind of music I like. This is the kind of man I like. Like, it's just, you don't know these things until you go through a bunch of different experiences. And I think like that's the main difference. So if you're still in your 20s and just feel like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like it's normal, and it honestly gets like so much better. But I think the main key point is you have to know what you want, you have to know what you like, you have to know what you dislike, and just ignore everyone else, what they think, what their opinions are. Because if you try to follow other people's footsteps and do things that you think will make you look good or make you look happy or successful in other people's eyes, like that's just not gonna make you feel happy.
When you live like there's no tomorrow, you're going to waste your life away, and the sad part is that his female looks good. She at 18 could have had her dream man, lived a great life, but she decided to blow away her youth on other men.
Back to the article. The Reddit commenter points to the recent surge in anti-aging products and trends, things like baby Botox and viral face taping routines, showing up earlier and earlier, with some beauty trends even being copied by kids far too young to be worrying about wrinkles. And on TikTok, you can see how this stay forever young mindset is being pushed by everyone from early 20s influencers to teens who are absorbing the anxiety secondhand. Maybe one day science will genuinely slow aging in a meaningful way, but even if appearance becomes easier to optimize, it won't automatically fix what's underneath: fear, insecurity, or the need for constant validation. You can't buy peace of mind in a serum bottle. And that's the bigger point. Obsessing over looking younger is a losing game if the goal is to feel secure. Real confidence comes from health, stability, relationships, and purpose, not from chasing an impossible aesthetic standard that keeps moving every year.
Hey guys, this is just me having a meltdown. I get married tomorrow, and the smile, trying to make jokes out of it and play it off or whatever. I don't think it's funny anymore. And I can't stop crying. And everybody keeps walking by and looking at me like I'm weird. I'm like, you don't know a person's life, okay? This is so silly. I know, there's real world problems out there. I know. I'm just upset, okay? And you know what my esthetician said about all this? Happy thoughts, Lauren. Happy thoughts. The mind is very powerful. And I'm trying, but look. That's me. I'm really trying, guys. I'm really trying.
This is what we call a buzzer beater, and sadly, the dude who's about to get married to her didn't take the hint that if she needs Botox already, she's been used up already.
Skipping ahead in the article, people across ages agreed the panic around aging is getting out of hand. One Gen Z commenter put it bluntly: a lot of young people see life after college as a long, depressing slide. Work nonstop, pay taxes, lose free time, deal with health issues, and watch friendships fade. It's a dark, reductionist worldview, but it's clearly widespread. And part of the reason it spreads is because college, for many, has shifted from being primarily about building expertise into being the experience. Less focus on becoming highly skilled, more focus on social life, identity, and chasing memories. That isn't inherently wrong, but if you treat those years like they're the peak of life, then of course everything after graduation is going to feel like a downgrade. The healthier framing is that college is supposed to be a launch pad. Learn real skills, build habits, make connections, and set yourself up for a life that gets better, not smaller, after 22. If the only thing you're preparing for is the party, then adulthood will feel like a punishment. If you're preparing for competence and stability, adulthood becomes the phase where you actually get control.
If you're anxious around your birthday and stressed about getting older, then this video is for you. I'm in my mid-30s. I stress about my birthday every year. And I cry at least once. Like, oh my God, another year older. I should be at this place in my life. Like, I don't have a house yet or kids. Like, if you've been there, you get it. Then someone told me this, and it completely changed my perspective. It is a privilege to live another year. It is a privilege to live another day. And man, it is a privilege to be alive. It does derive from a famous quote. I believe his name is Marcus Aurelius. Please don't hate me if I'm mispronouncing that. Life is precious. Here I am stressing about getting old. I'm also a member of the LGBTQ community. The world has become scarier for us, like a lot. So you see, to celebrate another year, I will forever consider it a privilege.
Continuing with the article, a handful of millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers blamed the internet for fueling this fear of aging. And honestly, I get it. I work with some Gen Z coworkers, and before they spent time around older colleagues, a lot of them had a strangely bleak, warped idea of what your 30s even looks like. Social media has really messed with people's heads. It trains you to think life is basically over after your peak aesthetic years, because your feed is packed with extremes, highlight reels, filters, and viral breakdown clips. That's not reality. It's an algorithm selecting the most emotional content because it performs well. And when a culture tells you to live like there's no tomorrow, it conveniently ignores the fact that tomorrow is most of your life. Choices compound, habits compound, relationships compound. You don't get to press reset just because the vibe changed. Even the beauty and influencer space reinforces this anxiety by over-rewarding youth and novelty. That doesn't mean people past a certain age are done. It just means the market is shallow, and shallow markets punish anyone who builds their identity on being endlessly young and hot. So the real fix isn't more products or more panic. It's building a life that isn't dependent on constant validation, health, skills, community, purpose, and relationships based on character, not just optics.
Apparently, women over 40 are getting pushed out of the makeup game here on TikTok, on social media, with beauty brands. Sorry, excuse me while I snatch my face. And I think that there needs to be more representation of women, fabulous women, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I see you. I love that you're here, and let's rock it.
Back to the article. Someone wrote that people glorify your 20s way too much, and I agree, but probably for a different reason. Your 20s aren't the best years because of parties and clout. They can be great if you use them to build something real, a solid relationship, a family if that's your goal, and long-term stability while you still have time on your side. The problem is, that kind of life doesn't look impressive on Instagram. You can't really flex, we meal prepped, paid bills on time, and cleaned the kitchen, the way you can flex trips, outfits, and nightlife. Quiet progress doesn't go viral. But in the real world, the boring stuff is the foundation, and the people who invest early in stability usually end up winning later, whether anyone online applauds it or not.
I want a job. I don't want to be a corporate girly. I don't want to climb the ladder. I don't want to be a boss babe. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be the breadwinner. I do not want to do that. You know what I want to do? I want to be home. I want to be cooking in the kitchen. I want to be cleaning. I want to be shopping. I want to be making brownies. I want to be cooking dinner, making homemade meals every night, almost every night. I want to do all the things.
Continuing, someone said aging for Gen Z feels like weight was for millennials, something the media obsessed over and turned into a constant anxiety trigger. That comparison actually makes sense in one way. Social media and pop culture can latch onto one fear and amplify it until it becomes a whole identity crisis. But the more important point in the article is this. For a lot of people nearing 30, the anxiety isn't only about looks, it's about adulthood itself. Money, housing, career pressure, family expectations, health, and realizing nobody is coming to save you. And yeah, that's not exactly shocking. It's what happens when your feed trains you for aesthetics and attention, but not for responsibility and long-term planning. So the real fix isn't shaming people. Shaming doesn't build stability, it just builds resentment. The fix is teaching practical skills and habits, budgeting, routine health, communication, emotional regulation, and realistic expectations about relationships and work. Because once you have a foundation, turning 30 stops feeling like a cliff and starts feeling like momentum.
I've just had the saddest experience of my life. I just got a phone call from my stepdad being like, you need to help Jean, who's our next door neighbour. She's been our next door neighbour since I was a kid. And I knocked on her door and she's got a little frame and she's like in her 90s and she lives by herself because her husband died and she can't work her oven, and I was like helping her fix it, and she's so old and she's all by herself. I always talk about like, I don't want to be single, I want a partner, da da da. When you marry someone and then they die, and then you're by yourself again, and you're really fucking old. Like, this world is cruel, guys. It's so sad. I think I'm going to join a charity to help old people or something, because...
Yet again, she's ignoring the obvious math here. Her grandma likely had a partner or a strong support system for most of her adult life, while a lot of people today are trending toward decades of doing everything solo. That's not hate. That's just the direction modern dating and lifestyle choices can push you in if you're not intentional. Reality is undefeated. Choices compound, time passes, and eventually, the outcomes speak louder than the slogans. As always, I genuinely wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. Drop a comment and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.